Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, I Don't Work Here Sir. I've wondered if and or when this will happen to me, ever since I started reading this sub. Well, that day was 2 days ago. I was shopping for jeans in Macy's and had 4 to 6 pairs draped over my right arm as I went from area to area looking for anywhere that had jeans on the table. For those who may not know, Macy's houses multiple brands that are separated into their own areas, versus an outdoor outlet mall where each brand has their own individual storefront. When I started rifling through a new pile, I noticed someone in front of me and in the edge of my peripheral vision was trying to get my attention. A middle-aged man held up a shirt vest, I don't remember, and asked me where he could find additional sizes. I opened my mouth to respond, but he quickly realized and said, "Oh, you don't work here, do you?" I replied in the negative and he laughed, saying that I looked like I knew what I was doing, so he thought I was a Macy's employee. I was in a black sweater with thin white stripes, dark blue jeans, no lanyard, no name tag, but it still happens. Fortunately, there was no anger or yelling, just a small mistake. The next story is titled, Not Sure If This Belongs. This happened in high school. I was either a freshman or a sophomore in high school and we had a school assembly as usual. I walked towards the gym where they were usually held. Now at my school we had 2 buildings, one for high schoolers and one for middle schoolers, however for assemblies we all went to the same gym. Now I was a shy kid and didn't have a lot of friends, and the few friends I have were in separate classes, so I had no one to walk with. Since high school students were allowed to go to their lockers or to the bathroom before the assembly started, that's what I did. Now this is where the problem began. When I started towards the gym I heard a woman yelling. Now the middle school students had to go with their class to the gym, so naturally I assumed some of the students were being noisy or not behaving and this was upsetting the teacher, so naturally I ignored this. Now I went into the gym's doors and headed towards the bleachers, then I looked behind me and saw a red-faced teacher running towards me. Now the gym pretty crowded with people, so I basically maneuver myself away from the red-faced teacher. I just assumed she was after one of her students and didn't want to get in the way of her wrath. I then heard her scream, "Get back here!" I still went on, and headed towards the bleachers where my few friends sat. I then noticed the teacher walk up to one of the high school teachers, still red-faced and angry. I heard her tell the teacher that one of the middle schoolers couldn't sit with the high schoolers. Now I wasn't really paying attention because naturally I was talking to my friends. But then I saw her pointing at me and such, and that one of the high school teachers looking at me and shaking her head. The red-faced teacher huffed and stormed off. When the assembly was over I went back to one of my classes. It was the last class of the day. So when I was in the hallway, I heard some heels clicking up behind me. I turned and saw it was the same teacher and she was following me. Me, still being naive, thought she was headed somewhere else. So I went into my classroom and sat down. A few students and my teacher was already there. The red-faced woman just stood outside the classroom door and basically folded her together and began to stomp her right foot. I naturally assumed she was wanting to talk to teacher, and since my last period was a study hall, decided to talk to one of my friends sitting next to me in the class. When the bell rang, I looked outside to see the teacher outside smirk at me. Like I said, I was a little naive, thought she was smiling at me, so I smiled back. And this smirk she had turned into a scowl. For some reason my teacher didn't notice her or didn't care. Eventually the middle school teacher came into the classroom and said, "Mrs. Smith, can I speak to you outside?" She said it in this cheerful song-like voice. Mrs. Smith agreed and walked outside with her and closed the door in case the conversation was private. 5 minutes later Mrs. Smith came back in and sat down. The other teacher that was outside, however, just stood there. She looked at me with her mouth open. After a few seconds she turned bright red and sort of ran, walked away from the classroom. I later found out the teacher thought I was middle school student, and that I was ignoring her. She thought that not only did I ignore her, but I sat with the high schoolers, which was against the rules. When asking one of the teachers about it, told her that they didn't see any middle school sitting on the bleachers and determined to catch this rampant troublemaker would catch me after the assembly was over. However, in her head she caught me going to the high school building instead of class and trying to make friends with the high schoolers, so she was determined to humiliate me in front of them and also get me in more trouble because if I wasn't in class when the bell rang it was an automatic detention. Of course when I smiled at her I was obviously mocking her. However, when she called Mrs. Smith to talk to her, and told her of my obvious disrespect, she laughed at this teacher, because I never did anything bad and was too timid at the time to do anything like that. And when this middle teacher told her what acts she thought I had committed, not only caused Mrs. Smith to laugh at her more and tell her she was one of her students. Now for some background information, I've been short my whole life and had a baby face, so naturally thought I was middle schooler. However, that my story of how a middle school teacher thought a high school student was in middle school and was disrespecting her only to be laughed at by another teacher. The next story is titled, I work here, but I don't work here. So I've been debating posting this since I do work at where this takes place, but I'm in a completely different department. Hence the I work here, but not here title. I figured it still had oblivious customer asking someone to do something they're not paid to do, so if I should move it, just say so. So some backstory. I work at a hotel as a houseman. Basically I keep closest stock and sweep and mop some places, and take garbage out. I also do miscellaneous things for other departments when people are busy, but it's limited to common sense things, like, hey, run these towels up to a room, or can you carpet VAC this banquet hall, since I'm not trained to do pretty much anything outside of push a cart. And this is where the problem starts. It was a slow day, so we only had one front desk worker at the front desk, but we have 2 terminals to check quests in, AS's problems. I was called to take out the trash from behind the front desk, so I walk behind them and I'm standing there with one bag as I wait for the other worker to finish up with a customer so I can take the bag she was blocking. Unfortunately I was standing near the other terminal, so a lady approached me. Now it was fairly obvious to anyone with common sense that I was not a front desk worker. Not only was I not dressed like a front desk worker, as was wearing my slightly stained work shirt working with garbage. Kitchen garbage, but I didn't have nicely combed hair or the perm-pressed look of someone you'd expect to be the first face you see at a 3-star downtown hotel. Not to crap on myself, I just looked like someone whose job entails more than just standing still. Plus, I was holding a bag of garbage. Nothing about me would imply I work at this front desk, other than standing near it. But apparently she didn't see that. So she asks me to check if her key works. Okay, that's actually something I would normally do. I take her key and put the garbage down, and start to leave to go to her room number when she asks what I'm doing. I'm going to check your room key. Why don't you just do it here? I don't think the machines work like that. Well, shouldn't you know? Ma'am, I'm housekeeping, I don't work front desk. Then why are you standing at the front desk? I was taking the garbage out. And she just wouldn't let up, insisting that I check her room key, on a machine that can't do that, and a machine that I don't even know how to use. The other front desk worker even tried to come over and help, but this lady wasn't having it. She was insisting that I was just trying to skimp out of doing work and that I was wasting her time. The next story is titled, Do I Look Like I Work for Carnival? Over Christmas my family and I were on a cruise. My mum wanted to check out the Build-A-Bear and I decided to tag along. It was supposed to start at 3 o'clock in the daycare rooms of the ship. Also at 3 o'clock was mandatory pickup of the kids at daycare. We had been waiting in line for about 10 minutes and I really needed to sit down because of my knee. I sat behind the empty reception desk. I'm wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt, a baseball cap. Here comes one of my fellow passengers shoving people out of her way with a bear under one arm, and a "let me speak to your manager" look on her face. The moment she get to the desk and before she opens her mouth, I look her straight in the eye and tell her I don't work here. She left in a huff. The next story is titled, I'm the reason they don't sell eggnog. My husband isn't feeling great and one of the things that helps him feel better on his many trips to the porcelain throne are those Cottonelle wipes. Since he's sick, we ran out. Being the adoring wife I am, I ran to the store to get him some more. Let's set the scene. I'm not feeling particularly chipper myself, so I've got serious bed hair, I'm wearing my Harry Potter pajamas, a bright blue parka, and green knee-high work boots. I might not have been a hot mess, but I was definitely a room temperature mess. So I head down the toilet paper aisle and there's an old lady on a scooter in the middle of the aisle looking at something. I just walked around, smiled at the young couple picking out their TP, grabbed my husband's butt wipes, and headed back the way I came. As you can imagine, I smile at people. Of course I smile at people. So I smile at the old lady as I pass. She uses this opportunity to grab my arm, look up at me and say, "Why you no sell eggnog no more?" I literally thought she was joking, so I just stood there for a second before realizing that she was serious. I looked at the young couple who were trying really hard not to laugh and just said, "I don't work here." I really hope that old lady didn't drive herself to the store. The next story is titled, "No Matter How Many Times You Ask." So I'm a member of a beauty group on Facebook, and a lot of members, including me, love Lush bath products. Now for those of you who don't know, Lush limited their after Christmas sales to in-store only. I just so happened to have a not very busy store close to where I live, so I posted asking if anyone wanted anything. They can PayPal me the money and I'll post it to them. I got a lot of replies, like over £200 worth of orders. So I'm rushing around picking up items and putting them into the 4 baskets I have at the back of the shop. Stopped for a moment to check the Facebook post and a lady asks me about products that are on sale. I politely told her I didn't work there and pointed her to a store assistant. I'm like, okay, I can see why she asked. I'm wearing black jeans and a black top and running around picking loads of stuff up. End of story, right? Wrong. Over the next 10 minutes she asks me no less than 4 more times about products, ingredients, and where to find certain things. In the end I said quite loudly, "I still don't work here, and no matter how many times you ask me I will not change my answer. Now please stop bothering me and ask someone who actually works here." Cue epic eye roll and cat butt face from her, and stifled giggling from the wonderful store assistant who was helping me. I really wonder about some people. The next story is titled, "Payphone Employee Tries to Dodge Work." In college I met a man I'll call Bob. He was a prank aficionado, specializing in phone calls. It helped that he was good at mimicking accents, voices, etc. He recorded some of his calls and played a couple for me. When he was in high school he was lucky enough to live across the street from a payphone. It was a local call and thus free, so he'd call it routinely because why not? Plus he could see how his victim responded and adjust accordingly. Bob's strategy was to semi-harass the person and try to make them stay on as long as possible. But most people have common sense, so they would hang up quickly. Except for one poor kid. He must have been in his early teens. For this particular call Bob had some friends over who joined in. I don't remember the details of the back and forth, just the general gist. I do remember that Bob started out asking for Jimmy and didn't believe the victim, who said there was no Jimmy there and that it was not a business. Then he and his friends passed the phone around demanding to speak to Jimmy, threatening the poor kid, ordering him not to hang up, pretending to be mafia-esque guys, "He's gonna get fired," etc. He seemed bewildered by this and at one point started probing back. "Why is it my responsibility to get Jimmy for you?" The conversation continued in that vein for a couple minutes before one of the pranksters accidentally hung up the phone. So they called back. And the kid answered. More protests on his part that there was no Jimmy, it was not a business, that this was a pay phone, more disbelief and threats from the pranksters, etc. Then as a test they hung up again and called back. And to my disbelief, he answered again. The victim started to get upset during the third call, so they hung up again and out of pity didn't call back. The kid stared at the phone for a couple minutes and then backed away and left. My friend now regards that call with guilt, pride, and wonder. Why did he keep answering? Dude, you don't work there. A few years later I was working at a 7-Eleven store just as the Jerky Boys movie came out. Of course I started to get more prank calls than normal. Always from middle school and high school kids. Usually I just hung up, but one call was so obviously from the movie, calling me, jerky, etc., and it was a slow winter night, so I decided to help. Me, C, caller. 7-Eleven, this is Dave. C, yeah, I'm calling because I live down the street from you and the noises from your store are too loud. Too loud. C, yeah, jerky, too loud. It sounds like a fart factory. I saw that movie too. It sucked, but at least they were pros. Let's both hang up, you call back and we'll start over. As some advice, you need to work on your technique. Lead me along, beguile me with sensible conversation first. Don't get absurdist right away, that's a tip-off. Ready. See, click. They didn't call back. To this day I am disappointed by that. The next story is titled IDWHL but I'll pretend for free tacos. I worked at a bar downtown while I was in college. Next door to my bar was a popular Tex-Mex joint. We had a pretty good setup, college kids would pregame there, come next door and get hammered, then drunk stumble back to them for late nachos. One night we were slow so my boss sent me home. I decided to stop by our favorite business partner's place to grab some food, but when I walk in the manager tells me they're shutting down. Apparently they had been having severe staffing issues and literally just could not continue that night. Alright, fair enough. As I walk out, she notices my shirt and asks, "Do you work at the pub next door?" "Why yes I do ma'am." Then she goes, "If I give you free food, can you stand here and tell people not to come in?" I can absolutely do that. So for half an hour, I stood next to their door in a uniform for an entirely different business, stringing together stories about gas leaks and equipment breakdowns to drunk 20-somethings. The best part was half of them recognized me from the pub, and just accepted that maybe I worked in both places. They gave me a bag filled with tacos and queso, and a margarita in a to-go cup, and sent me on my way. The next story is titled Grocery Workers Look Like Car Part Shop Workers Apparently. So this was a funny albeit short story. It's the first time this kind of thing has ever happened to me. I got off work at a supermarket and headed to a car parts shop to buy some things to clean my car. I'm looking at stuff on a display when a guy comes up to me and starts asking about whether we have a certain product in or something. It took me 1 to 2 seconds to process what was happening, and when he finished I just stammered out I don't work here. He apologized I think and walked off. The crazy thing is we wear dark green polos with our very well recognized logo on it. The staff in this shop all wore black polos with yellow, red accents and their logo, vastly different to ours. Maybe it was cause I had my name badge still on, but still. The next story is titled I Don't Work Here But Now I Will. I went into a plus-size clothing store for women. I was squatting down looking at the piles and piles of jeans trying to find some my size when a man comes over. "Him, do you work here?" I looked up from my pile of jeans to see a really confused looking man of maybe 50 or so. Me, "Sorry I don't work here." "First time in here for me actually." Him, "Oh sorry it looked like you knew where things were." He walked away and I went back into my jean pile. Like 5 minutes or so later I felt a tap on my shoulder. I got up to move because I thought I was in someone's way, but then I heard someone say, "Excuse me." I looked down and I saw a little lady around the same age as the man. Her, "Do you work here?" Me, "Nope." "Sorry I don't." Her, "But my husband said you did." She then points to the same man who asked me if I worked there before. I looked down at her and said, "Sorry miss I don't work here." She then walks away towards her husband. Now I've never been at this store before, so I had no idea what the employees looked like. I couldn't tell them apart from normal customers vs employees. So I understand their confusion. I don't see them anymore, so I assumed they found someone though. Nope. I head towards the fitting rooms when someone grabs my sleeve. I whip around and see the old man again. Him, "Can you help my wife?" I looked at his wife who is trying on a pair of pants. She's just staring at me. I looked back at him. I feel kinda bad for this couple by now. Me, "I still don't work here, but what does she need?" Him, "What?" Me, "What?" We just stand there for a bit. I'm getting nervous and anxious. I just want to try on my pants and go. His wife then yells at me. Her, "Do these pants look good on me?" Me, Yes. They're a really good color on you." Her, "Thank you." She then heads back into the fitting room. The husband is still staring at me. I'm getting nervous and so I say again that I don't work here, and he just stands there. Thankfully one of the fitting room attendants was nearby and came over to us. "Employee, can I help you with anything sir?" He looked at the employee and it was like a light turned on for him. He finally understood that I really didn't work there. He said no and sat down near his wife, and the employee led me to a fitting room. She told me that I handled that really well and that they're hiring if I wanted a job. I said I'd put an application in and I was finally able to get my pants and leave. I'm actually going to start working there soon. The next story is titled, Some Say She Is Still in That Line to This Day. My family has a great tradition that's probably similar to what a lot of people do. When we celebrate something, a special event like a graduation or promotion, or if we smoke a lot of weed, we like to celebrate it at a Chinese buffet. Maybe it's a combination of our lower middle class upbringing and our love of eating a crap ton of food at an affordable price at $9.99 or less. It's probably because of the MSG. Now my brother just graduated college and we were super stoked to get some buffet-style Chinese, with some Chipotle-style hibachi, some questionable sushi and super greasy egg drop soup. Since it's an extra special occasion and he wouldn't be able to afford it soon with his crippling student loan debt, we went to a super fancy buffet restaurant. You knew it was fancy and delicious because they wore ties, and it was $15.99 per head, and they had unlimited sub-prime rib on weekends for the classy crowd. We just came from the ceremony, and were dressed up, females in cute dresses, males in business casual. I'm wearing a nice white dress shirt and a nice blue necktie. Coincidentally, I'm also Asian and about 2 shades of caramel darker than any of the employees. All the FOH staff are uniformed in black shirts, red bow ties with luxurious branding on their aprons. They also had name tags with American names like Paul. Of 10 people, I was the first to arrive. I explained to the host we needed a table. She was very gracious and told me it will be about 10 to 15 minutes as there are other people waiting with the same idea. She gave me a little buzzer thing. Rachel was great. Cool, right? So, I went take a seat in the area adjacent, specifically set aside and filled with people waiting. This is where I went wrong. I stood up to take a phone call from little bro and moved to the furthest corner of the room opposite of the hostess stand. 'Cause, you know, manners. It was a perfect storm, really. A line has formed while the hostess moved back and forth seating the other parties when she came in. She was visually stunning, as in she stunned my peripherals. I can best describe her as discount rack Barbie with a hint of bedazzle and menthol. She was like a Bratz doll grew up with huge daddy issues and a coke nail. She was determined and she seemed very inconvenienced by normal busy restaurant procedure. We then traded looks. I ducked up. Not sure if it was the sunglasses obscuring her vision, but apparently I became the only Oriental in the room. Hey, why, hey. She scuffed over while simultaneously trying to get me to come to her. I tell my brother to hold on. My internal monologue knew something stupid was gonna happen. Yes. Mistake number 3 was acknowledging her. I have been waiting for someone to help me. She spoke like she has been waiting for hours, when I literally saw her come in 2 minutes before. I can't help you, I don't work, she Kanye's me. Look, I just want a gift card, can you get off the phone and just get me a gift card? Something about gift card is probably what she was saying because my pager buzzed telling me my table was ready. I just walked away because it's better to ignore crazy. Methhead Madonna followed me, probably still talking, to the hostess stand. I promptly told Rachel in a louder than usual voice, this chick isn't with me. I was ushered to where the lady can see me sit down. We shared eye to sunglasses contact for a second while she processed what happened. It was like she was a baby and I took her nose. I watched as she moved to the end of an even longer line, defeated. And almost instantaneously my party arrived. I smiled wide while as I waved my party over to our table bypassing her. I forgot my brother was on hold, but he understood. We laughed, we ate, and I bought him a gift card for next time. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comment.